Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fact Fusion channel. Today we're going to break down one of the most important trade agreements of this decade. The Free Trade Agreement between India and the European Union, announced on January 27, 2026. This deal has been called the mother of all trade deals, and not without reason. It connects two of the world's largest economic blocs, affects nearly 2 billion people, and could reshape global trade, supply chains, and geopolitics. So in this video, we'll explain what this agreement really is, why it happened now, what's inside the deal, how India benefits, how the EU benefits, and what this means for the future of global trade. Let us start with the bigger picture. Global context. Why this deal matters now. The global trading system is going through a major transition. Over the past few years, we've seen rising US-China trade tensions, repeated supply chain disruptions from pandemics to wars, and a global shift toward protectionism where countries try to protect their own industries. In this environment, countries are rethinking who they trade with and how dependent they are on a single partner. For the European Union, this has meant one clear goal: strategic trade autonomy, reducing overdependence on China and diversifying supply chains. For India, the goal is equally clear: increase exports, attract foreign investment, and integrate more deeply into global value chains. This trade deal sits exactly at the intersection of those two goals. That is why it's not just an economic agreement, it's a geopolitical strategy. What is the EU-India trade deal? At its core, this is a comprehensive free trade agreement, or FTA, between India and the European Union. Negotiations for this deal began almost 20 years ago, but talks were repeatedly stalled due to political disagreements, sensitive sectors like agriculture, and automobiles' concerns over labor, environment, and market access now. After 2 decades, both sides decided the timing is right. Once implemented, this agreement will cover around 2 billion people, represent nearly 25% of global GDP, create one of the largest free trade zones in the world at the moment. The deal has been announced, not fully implemented. It will go through legal review, with formal signing expected within 5 to 6 months, and implementation likely within about 1 year. Tariffs and market access. The core of the deal. Let us talk about what really changes tariffs and market access. Under this agreement, around 96 to 97% of EU exports to India will see tariffs reduced or eliminated. This could save EU companies about €4 billion per year in customs duties. Key EU sectors benefiting include machinery and industrial equipment, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, aircraft, and aerospace components. Processed food products. A major highlight is automobiles. Currently, EU-made cars face import duties of over 100% in India. Under the deal, these tariffs will be gradually reduced but not fully eliminated. They will be managed through a quota system to protect Indian manufacturers. Similarly, tariffs on wine, spirits, and beer from the EU will be significantly lowered, though not fully removed. This opens a massive market for European producers, while still giving India room to protect sensitive industries. What does India gain? From India's perspective, the biggest win is access to the EU market. The EU is one of the richest consumer markets in the world, and this deal lowers tariffs on Indian exports such as clothing and textiles, leather goods and footwear, jewelry, seafood. With lower tariffs, Indian products become more competitive and more affordable in Europe. And here's something important, because the EU is a high-income market. Even small price reductions can lead to huge increases in sales volumes. This is especially critical for India's labor-intensive sectors, where millions of people work. More exports mean more factory orders, higher production, more stable employment jobs. MSMEs and industrial growth in India trade growth. ISNT just about numbers. It's about jobs. As exports rise, factories operate at higher capacity, supply chains expand, and small and medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs, gain access to international markets in India. MSMEs are the backbone of the economy. This deal could be a game changer, helping small businesses scale up and integrate into global supply chains. Foreign investment and technology transfer. This agreement goes far beyond goods trade. It creates a stable and predictable environment for European companies to invest in India. That means new factories, new jobs, advanced technology transfer, better integration of Indian supply chains with global markets over time. This helps position India not just as a consumer market, but as a global manufacturing hub. Strategic importance for India. Strategically, this deal gives India something very valuable: diversification. By strengthening trade ties with the EU, India reduces overdependence on any single partner. Its global bargaining power increases, and it gains a stronger voice in shaping global trade rules. India is no longer just adapting to global trade rules, it is becoming a rule shaper. What does the EU gain? Now, let's look at the EU side. For Europe, India is one of the fastest growing large economies, a market of 1.4 billion people, and a key alternative to China in supply chains. EU companies can now sell into India with lower tariffs and better access, benefiting German, French, and Italian car manufacturers, industrial machinery producers, chemical and pharmaceutical companies. As exports grow, European industries stay competitive, jobs inside the EU are protected, and companies gain long-term growth opportunities. The deal also allows the EU to export its labor, environmental, and quality standards, strengthen its role as a global rulemaker, and reduce excessive dependence on China. This is the heart of Europe's strategic trade autonomy. Final takeaway: so, what's the bottom line? For India, this deal boosts exports, jobs, investment, and global influence for the EU. It opens a massive market, protects industries, diversifies supply chains, and strengthens global power. That's exactly why this agreement has been called the mother of all trade deals. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.